Hi everybody, welcome back. Our grab and go yoga practice today is aimed at clearing the sacral chakra. That is our second chakra, Svadhistana chakra. When it's imbalanced, we tend to feel stuck, we tend to feel lack of creativity. This practice is designed to open all of that so you can get your creative juices flowing and feeling good. We'll start with Malasana, a squat pose. So come to a standing position to the front of the mat. Separate your feet nice and wide. You'll discover that a lot of these poses are hip opening poses because we want to open up the sacral chakra, which is located right here, right below the navel, above the pubic bone, right? So separating your feet nice and wide, you can angle the toes out a little bit, standing tall. Start with the palms together at the heart. Put a nice deep bend in the knees. And if you're modifying, you can just take your arms to the thighs, right? You can always put a block under the sit bones if you can work it a little deeper. Or if you're good to go and you're feeling good and you want to get right into it, bend the knees nice and deep, bracing the knees up using your elbows. And just hold it right here, breathe. And if you want to close the eyes, you can. If you prefer to keep them open, that's also fine. All right, it's a nice deep hip stretch. So just really let the breath move. We're feeling our energy moving with the palms pressing together. And we're feeling a nice connection to the earth. Let's hold for another 2 or 3 deep breaths. And lower your hands and fingertips toward the mat. Lift the sit bones up. Heel toe the feet just a little closer together until they're hip width distance apart. Take your hands to opposite elbows. Let the head hang down, and if it feels good, you can nod the head or sway a little. Switch the grip, opposite hand on top. One more breath. And dropping the arms toward the mat, roll up slow to stand. Keeping the breath moving. Head up, soften the shoulders, standing tall, bring the palms together at the heart. Shift your weight to the right leg, lift up the left knee, transition through a brief warrior 3. Extend the left leg all the way back. Then step your left toes onto the mat, lift up like you're doing a high lunge, but open up to the left side and reach the arms out, warrior 2. Look over the right middle finger, one more breath. And return the palms together at the heart, straighten the right leg, turn the right toes in facing the left side of the room. Check in with your feet. You can angle the toes out a little bit, maybe bring the feet a little closer together for goddess pose. Take your hands to your legs, to your thighs. Put a bend in the knees, lift the chest. I have my thumbs pointing forward. You can go that way, or you can bring the fingertips forward, thumbs back, and just sit deep, keep the chest up, and roll a little bit side to side from foot to foot. Right, really getting into the hips. Deep breaths. And pressing through the legs, lift up, straighten the legs, bring the palms again together at the heart. Parallel the feet, check in, separate the feet a little bit wider. Reach the arms out to the sides, dive over the legs, coming into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged fold. Lower your hands to the mat. You can let your fingertips settle down. You can flatten the palms. Let the crown of your head hang heavy toward the mat. Keep the sit bones lifting up without locking your knees. Keep a little micro bend in the knees. You can bend the knees as much as they like, as much as you like. And keep the breath moving for another deep breath or two here. And pressing through the feet, lift the chest. Skandasana, side lunge, go to your left. Bend the left knee, stretch the right leg, chest up, one breath. We'll pass through center and go the other way. Bend the right knee, stretch the left leg, one more breath. Come back up to center. Bring your hands to the waist and with a flat back, press up slow. And step all the way back to the front of the mat. You can bring your feet a little closer together and step the left foot up to the front. Relax the arms by your side, standing tall in Tadasana. Second side, check in with your feet, step the feet wide apart. Angle the toes, bring the palms together. Malasana, bend deep through the knees, squatting down, elbows propping inside the knees, chest up, gaze past the nose, and give it another deep breath or two. Lower your hands and fingertips to the mat, lift the sit bones up, heel toe the feet just a little bit closer until they're hip width apart. Hang over the legs and take your hands to opposite elbows. Feel free to nod the head or sway a little, optional. Switch the hands, opposite on top. One more breath. Settle back and center, drop the arms toward the mat, roll up one more time, press down, uncurl, lift up, shoulders back, bring the palms together at the heart. Shifting your weight to the left leg, lift the right knee up, transition through a brief warrior three, reach the right leg all the way back, strong standing leg, touching your right toes on the mat, chest up like you're about to do a high lunge. Warrior two, the right heel spins down and the arms reach out, look over the left middle finger. One more breath. We'll bring the palms to prayer again, straighten the left leg, turn the left toes in, facing the right side of the room. Check in with your feet, bring them in a little bit closer for goddess, angle the toes out a little bit, maybe 45-degree angle, hands to your thighs, bend at the knees line up over the heels, tailbone down, chest up. You can always put the thumbs back, completely up to you. Again, shift a little side to side. It's more of a modified goddess pose, but the goal is the same, to get into the hips, right? Keeping our connection with the earth, and yet with the hands on the legs, we're keeping the connection of energy moving through the body, right? Just encouraging the energy to stay in the body so we're not spinning our wheels and losing energy. And take another full breath. Press down, straighten out the legs, bring the palms together again at the heart. Heel toe the feet a little bit wider apart, setting up our second set of Prasarita Padottanasana. The feet should be about 3 to 4 feet apart. You can either reach the arms out and swan dive again, or if you want to change it up this time, you can reach arms behind you, interlace fingers, and dive that way with the arms overhead as the crown of the head reaches toward the mat. The sit bones lift up, and let's give it another deep breath or two here. And releasing your hands toward the mat. Lift the chest, Skandasana, back of the mat. Bend the right knee, stretch the left leg. Chest up, one breath. All right, really getting into the hips. Let's go the other way, pass through center. Bend the left knee, stretch the right leg. One breath. Come back up through center. Heel toe the feet a little closer together. And this time we'll bring our knees down onto the mat. Have a seat, bring the legs around front. And we'll take a nice Baddha Konasana, more like a star pose. So your feet can stay a little bit wider than in like for regular Baddha Konasana. So that's why I said star pose. You can bring the feet out a little bit, round down, come forward and take your hands, wrap them around the tops of your feet. Soften the head down and let's hold here for about 3 to 5 deep breaths. And of course, if you're really comfortable and like to stay here, you can make this almost like your Shavasana. Make this a little meditation as you stay in this fold, the body maintaining its connections, the feet touching connected, the hands connected to the feet, opening up the hips, and letting the energy, the creativity flow. If you prefer to release out, slowly roll up, head up last, fold the knees in, and drop the hands behind you and drop your knees to the right, sit tall, turn your head to the left and hold for a breath. Come back through center and go the other way. Drop your knees left, sit tall, look to the right and hold for another breath. Coming back through center, you can either lay back in Shavasana or you can take a seated position and end with a nice seated relaxation. Closing your eyes, palms up in an open gesture of receiving.